Coming up on Mountain News this morning, there's a scam warning out for our region involving scammers who pretend to be police to try and steal your information over the phone. And housing issues continue to be a struggle in our region as businesses seek to move into the area with a few places for their workers to live.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. 6:31 here on your Monday morning. I'm Dakota Makris. Thanks so much for waking up with us. We certainly appreciate it. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our chilly forecast to start the morning at least. And I'm seeing behind you there's still some snow on Pine Mountain.
Some snow up on top of Whitesburg Pine Mountain this morning. So again, if you live in areas where there's still some snow, don't be surprised. Not a lot of sunshine got to them yesterday. And my house was one of those, my front yard at least. And then of course up on Pine Mountain. Let's take a look. US 119 up there. The road is clear, but the sides are not. So not a whole lot of melting going on. It still looks like frozen tundra in my front yard this morning. And Dakota made the comment earlier that there was still some snow in my car when he'd come in this morning. So again, temperatures 20s and 30s, not a whole lot of 30s out there, just a couple. 31 Jackson, 32 Williamsburg, and 30 Moorhead. Everybody else is in the 20s this morning and still falling out there through 7 o'clock. Breakfast forecast, again, you're going to see temperatures in those mid to upper 20s there for the most part, but we're going to see low 20s for a little while, but temperatures will increase pretty quickly as we head toward the 8 o'clock hour. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. One person is dead after a crash on Kentucky 3439 in Knox County. Kentucky State Police troopers say the driver of a 2010 Dodge Ram truck was driving north Saturday evening when the truck hit a person walking in the road. The person was identified as 24-year-old Brandon Warren. Warren was taken to Barberville ARH for his injuries, but he later died. The crash is still under investigation. 4 people were arrested on drug charges in Harlan County Friday. Police assisted in a home visit in the Crosspoint community. When they arrived, they say Ashley Cobb threw a bag of suspected meth out the back door. They say Linda Taylor was trying to destroy evidence. R.C. Henry, Ashley Cobb, and Amy Gross were arrested for the possession of a controlled substance. Linda Taylor was charged with trafficking in controlled substance. Other related charges were also filed. Police and an Indiana University student say an Indiana University student was targeted and stabbed on a bus for being Asian. Hate crimes can be seen across the country. Last weekend here in Kentucky, hateful signs were hung up in downtown Lexington. No one was hurt in the situation, but LGBTQ plus advocates say there's still a lot of progress that needs to be made in the community. Julia Sandor has more from the folks at the Lexington Pride Center.
From vandalism to hateful posters, members of the LGBTQ plus community see things like this far too often. It's something Catherine Taylor says won't change them.
Just a way of connecting with people that are going through the same things, who are LGBTQIA identifying, because it is scary.
The Lexington Pride Center makes it a point to talk about these issues in the community. They host what's called a heart-to-heart, where people get together to talk about things that happen, like the placement of the hateful signs in downtown Lexington.
We respect other people's belief systems, but at the end of the day, when you threaten somebody because you don't agree with what they're doing, that's a problem.
They say it feels like they're constantly on guard, never knowing what could happen next. And it can happen to any minority community, Taylor says, but they work to make sure everyone has a safe space to rely on.
We all have a way of getting together as a community and talking about it and expressing our fears and our concerns with one another. And that really helps to release some of that fear, to know that you have your chosen family surrounding you. We will stand together and protect ourselves. We won't go back in the closet. Those years, those times are gone. We are here and we're not going anywhere.
That was Julia Sandor reporting. If anyone in the community is seeking help or a safe space, Taylor says to reach out to the Lexington Pride Center. It has resources and help for anyone in need. Back here in our region, the police department is seeing a new phone scam where people are posing as officials from their department and others in the area. Those with the London Police Department say someone has been recently posing as the chief of police and posing as other department officials in order to con people out of money. London Police Corporal Drew Jackson says these agencies will never ask people to pay for something over the phone.
You know, typically these people, from what I found out, these people that are calling or posing as the chief of police or sheriff are from other countries, maybe other states. We've had several people actually send money, you know, $500, $1,000, and it's a real issue we're having right now.
If you have any information on a phone scam or feel as though you are a victim of one, police are asking that you contact your local police department to report it. We have information about another phone scam. This one's out of Prestonsburg. Prestonsburg police say someone is spoofing the 911 communications number and claiming they have a warrant for your arrest. Well, the number shows up as 606-886-1010. They warn the scammer is trying to get your personal information. Prestonsburg police wanted to remind everyone that they will never contact you by phone in the case of a warrant, and you should never give away personal information. Housing issues have had an effect just beyond places for Eastern Kentuckians to live. Hazard Perry County Economic Development Alliance has been working with companies that might want to move to the area but are hesitant because of the lack of homes to live in. Executive Director Zach Lawrence says he fears people might leave if job opportunities start decreasing.
The last thing I want to see is people leave because they don't have a place to be. The workforce is one of the big things that we promote to companies looking to be in this region. We have a great workforce here in our communities, and to not have a place for them to live, to go to work would be detrimental to kind of the goal that we're working on.
Lawrence says those fears have only grown since the flood. Governor Andy Beshear announced several leadership appointments within his administration on Friday. Among them, former State Representative Charles Booker. Samantha Valentino has the details.
After a failed campaign for U.S. Senate against Senator Rand Paul, former State Representative Charles Booker said his work isn't over.
Just know I ain't never quitting.
Booker received the endorsement of Governor Andy Beshear for the U.S. Senate race. Governor Beshear saying in part, quote, "Kentuckians deserve a senator who understands the power of our common bonds and knows that we are stronger when we stand together."
We gonna make noise for the Commonwealth of Kentucky right now. If you believe Kentucky is worth fighting for, let me hear you make some noise. That's right. This is the Kentucky I know.
In a release on Friday, Governor Beshear announced several appointments within his administration, including Charles Booker as head of the governor's office of faith-based initiatives and community involvement. Booker responded to the appointment in a statement saying, quote, "I am honored to join Governor Beshear and his administration and inspired to take on this opportunity to continue to serve the people of Kentucky." Later taking to social media, saying in part, quote, "Kentucky, I love you. I am honored to continue my service to you. Onward." In a statement, a spokesperson for the Republican Party of Kentucky criticized the appointment, saying, quote, "Charles Booker lost to Rand Paul because he doesn't represent Kentucky's values. Apparently, Andy thinks he does."
That was Samantha Valentino reporting. Polling shows Governor Beshear has maintained high approval ratings from Kentuckians. A poll from Morning Consult found 6 in 10 Kentucky voters approve of his performance, while 34% disapprove. 46% of Republicans say they approve the Democratic governor's job performance.
6:39 here on this cold Monday morning. We're seeing temperatures back. Is all over the place this morning. They were in the 20s earlier. Now they're back to 34. That airport sensor must be waving in the wind over there. 32 in Williamsburg, 31 in Jackson, 30 Moorhead and Logan this morning. Everybody else is in the 20s. Now that's several degrees warmer. It's actually 20 degrees warmer in Wise from this time yesterday morning. So that should give you an indication of how cold it was across our region yesterday morning. 13 degrees warmer in Logan, Williamsburg 2. Everybody else at least upper single digits warmer than it was this time yesterday. Your out the door forecast: clouds will increase today after some sunshine early, and then we'll see temperatures top out in the mid-50s with some rain chances after dark. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. Still to come here on Mountain News this morning. Health experts warn about a possible safety issue involving Pfizer's updated bivalent COVID vaccine for the older crowd. That's coming up next.